Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about retail, how I got hired, my experience in retail, and basically just the pros and cons in working in retail. Okay, so let's start off with when I got hired. I got hired at age 17 or 16. I think it was, no, it was, I turned 16 and then I remember applying for a bunch of jobs. I applied everywhere. I applied at Taco Bell, I applied at Pizza Hut, at McDonald's, at Starbucks, at the mall. I applied at the mall. I applied to a bunch of places. And I remember no one would get back to me, and it was probably because I was just 16 and I was really desperate for a job because, well, my parents don't buy me stuff anymore since I turned 16. They see that as an adult already instead of like 18 or like 21. My parents aren't the type of parents that give you like stuff just because you want it. You have to earn it in this house. And I mean, I'm a very lazy guy, so the concept of like throwing out the trash, cleaning the dishes, that's not for me. And I would never do any of that, so they wouldn't like reward me with anything. And it was really hard for me to like get money from them too, since my dad's really stingy. And my mom, well, she doesn't even care. Well, they do care, but like, they know that they're teaching me a lesson. I don't know, maybe in the future I'll realize that this is a valuable lesson, but they tell me that it's to make me responsible, you know? Okay, enough of that. Okay, so I got hired at JCPenney and at another store, which I'm currently working at right now, but I'm not gonna say the name of because, I don't know, I feel weird just like, it's like exposing the store. But it's nothing really bad about that store. About JCPenney on the other hand, I didn't like JCPenney. The environment there was very, very generic, if you know what I mean. Like, it's so bland. Like regular cornflakes. I'm working right now at, let's call it, what should I call it? So I won't give away the name. Retail Palace. I'll call it Retail Palace. Okay, so over here at Retail Palace, those are like your Frosted Flakes, your Cocoa Pebbles. That's a store that felt. I have a bunch of good things to say about that store, just because the environment was so happy, so different from JCPenney. JCPenney was all, I'm not gonna say that it was all weird and like cold and stuff. Cold, I mean like cold-hearted. But JCPenney really, my first day of work there, they made me watch these long ass videos that I already knew most of that stuff, like be respectful to customers, how to like fold clothes, and like what to do if you like slip and fall, not sue JCPenney. I'm just kidding, not that. But I started working in JCPenney when I was, I think, 17, and at the same time I had also been hired. I had also gotten hired at Retail Palace at the same time. It was like legit the same time. And I remember starting off at JCPenney and then Retail Palace, and I was in school still. I was still in high school. So those two schedules together kind of clashed, and I decided to stay with Retail Palace because they were paying me, it was a difference. At JCPenney you started off at minimum wage, and at Retail Palace they started me off at $9 an hour. And now after like working there for like about 2 years, they raised it up to $10 an hour, 10 something, 10 like 40 an hour. And they evaluate you every year to see if you get a little raise, and it was something so like, it's the perfect place to work at, except this is where I do have problems with working in retail, and I'm pretty sure it's common problems, like every store has them, every retail store has them. 1, the customers. 2, the cleaning. 3, I can't think of the third one. It's just basically those 2. But yeah, okay, so I think of myself as a social person, maybe, I guess. Sometimes, if I have to be, like, I'll talk to the customers, I'll be nice to them, and I'll engage in customer service and everything. But there's certain times where customers are really rude and you just hate what you're doing. And besides the customers, the work, and everything else, I felt like Retail Palace really brought me together to a group of associates that are just amazing. Our store doesn't have that many associates, so it's much easier for you to bond with your fellow peers there. And that's what I would highly suggest, that you look for a place that isn't that big. Wait a minute, Retail Palace is pretty big. What I'm trying to say is the smaller the group of associates, the more likely it is for you to be their friends and actually do stuff with them. For example, at JCPenney, there was a whole lot of associates. There was over like 50 maybe associates, different types of associates, stylists, jewelry associates, floor associate, cashiers, and I mean, you'd see them like maybe once every like 3 weeks, and you'd be like, hey, where have you been? Oh, you still work here and stuff, and stuff like that. And at Retail Palace, you see them like maybe like more than like 3 times a week, so it's like a family, you know? And it's great. I mean, I do really like working at Retail Palace. But again, let's get to the parts of why I don't like working in retail and why sometimes it does suck. Okay, again, with the customers. Some customers are so rude, really rude, to be exact. Actually, like last week, I got a customer who had put some stuff on hold, and she had this like certain time frame to pick it up, and she didn't. She had called the store to check if we had the same merchandise on the floor still, so we could like put it on hold, and we looked for it and we didn't find it until she got there to the store and she found the items and she wanted to put them on hold again. But before that, she wanted back a refund for the items she placed on hold, since we do charge to put stuff on hold there at the store. And customers sometimes don't know this, but I guess sometimes it's the associate's fault too, where we charge a cancellation fee if they don't pick it up, and a creation fee also, and it's usually what they leave as a deposit, the minimum deposit, which is $15, and that's exactly what she left. So she got charged the fee, the creation fee, and the cancellation fee. So she was like, are you effing kidding me? Like she straight up told me, and I was like, sorry ma'am, that's just how it works, that's our policy. And she was like, nothing at all. And it was $15, but I see where she's coming from. But again, she was late. It was a couple of days late, and I think she knew she had those items on hold. So she was kind of letting it, she was kind of getting mad at me for, if I didn't do anything, I just couldn't give her back anything. It's our policy, and I mean, every store enforces their policies, and yes, there are exceptions sometimes. The way she was talking to me, I didn't really think of exceptions. She was being real rude, and her daughter was right next to her. And before she left, she was like, well, I told her, she was like, yeah, we can't do anything about it, I'm sorry ma'am. She just said she was gonna go pay for her pants, and she was like, thanks for nothing. And I was like, oh, okay. And she just like walked away, and I know she went to go tell the associates and the cash registers that we were like a shitty store and stuff for not giving her her refund. A refund on the item she didn't come pick up on time, where she signed for creating the hold, that she agreed with the $10 cancellation fee and the creation fee that are clearly printed above where you sign. and she could read it, but she chose not to. So those were the consequences. And that circumstance, the customer was not right. The associates were. And I hate that line. I hate when people say customers are always right. We should always help a customer even if they're rude. But sometimes they're not right. And sometimes they don't know, associates and customers don't know how to react to each other sometimes. And it just creates a problem sometimes. But yeah, like, always treat others the way you want to be treated. You're not going to be rude to someone that's working and expect them to be nice to you just because they're working. It doesn't work like that. Yes, they're getting paid. We're getting paid to give customer service. But what are you going to do if that associate sees you outside of the store, outside in public? Because I do, how do I say it? I'm not mean, but I do like getting revenge. And I will say something if I see them, like, if another customer was like rude to me, I will say something to them, like, outside of work. Like, that's completely, I'm not on the clock, so I can actually have a conversation with them and ask them why they're so rude, and give them a life lesson, to be exact. But yeah, customers are rude and they're messy sometimes. And again, I'm not saying that I don't want them to be rude or I don't want them to be messy, because that's just human nature. They're gonna make a mess. Everybody makes a mess. I make a mess in my own room, and sometimes I don't even pick it up. But they're paying us to work customer service and to help the customers, and I'm all for that. Like, I understand completely. But there are certain days where sometimes associates don't feel like dealing with customers, dealing with everything that's going on. They might have problems, and it just brings them down. And having customers make a mess, demand for stuff, and just be rude, really just, it's something that drags you. And again, it's not like really, it's something I can deal with. I've dealt with it for the past 3 years. I've been working retail for, I think, 3 years already. And I like it. And I don't like it. It's 50-50. There was this one time I had gone to a different retail palace. I was off the clock and I didn't work there. It was in my neighboring cities. And this one lady, this older lady, she had said something when we walked in, me and my friend, because we were looking through some of the merchandise there, and she was like, and these kids getting in my way. And I was like, lady, who do you think you are? Like, that's what I thought in my head. I didn't say it, but I just gave her the ugliest look. And I just like walked, I just kept on walking. And like I said, I can be a very evil, not evil, just vengeful person. And I was like, you know, that lady, who does she think she is? It's Christmas time. There's a bunch of customers right now. We're not gonna just like move out of the way just for her. No. And I saw where she was going to, and she was going to this rounder where there was a bunch of purses. And she was looking at a purse. She was showing her daughter the purse. And I was like, no, people don't treat me like this. I'm not working, and I am not gonna deal with people's bullshit. So I just like go to that rounder where she's at, and I take the purse from her hand. I take it from her hand, and she looks at me. She's just like, what the fuck? And and then I show my friend. I'm just like, hey, you think this one? You think my mom would like this one, this purse? And she's just like in shock. She's just like, why did you take that away from her? But she didn't say that. She was just like standing there, and she was like, yeah, that's a pretty purse. And I just turn to the lady and I look at her, and I just throw the bag on the rounder. And her mouth opened, like her jaw dropped. Like she was like, it's just, some people think they're just, you know, too good for other people, to like, how do I say it? this went from a totally different, I was gonna talk about like my retail experience, and well, I am talking about that, about like my pros and cons, but I'm giving you like another story. But again, I do enjoy retail. It does have its up and downs. I always think that customers should be a little more respectful towards associates, since we are trying our best sometimes to keep the store clean, to keep our scores up in customer satisfaction, and in general, like it's both sides. We have to respect them, they have to respect us. It's basic human nature. Like why do something that is gonna hurt someone else and not expect something in return? It's karma. It's also karma. Like whatever you put out into the world, you're gonna get back, and sometimes it's gonna be much worse than what you actually put out there. But yeah, this is my experience in retail. And let me give you some advice. Let me just sum up this video with some advice. Never try to confront the customer yourself. Always try to call a manager, and always try to be buddies with your manager. Make them like you, because if you don't, then the work is going to be complete hell for you. Trust me. The managers at JCPenney were just so weird, especially this one lady who actually once made me stay at the store because I didn't get a credit application, and I left. I wasn't gonna stay just to get a credit application. No, I had stuff to do, and I left. But there's other managers and like in my job right now that are awesome. I really do like my managers, and they push us to do our best. Like they're not just those managers that don't care about their job. They do care, and they care on how we carry out our work. And always try to be friends with them. Like it's good to have them on your side. But again, don't confront a customer, and always ask first go to a manager, and never ever say a bad word in front of them either. That's very disrespectful. And never say a bad word in front of anyone, like not even to your coworkers at work, because that sounds so ugly sometimes. From a customer/associate standpoint, if I were to see that like at a Burlington store or a Ross store, I would be kind of, like, why are they talking like that? And always try your best. Like I always try to stand out, and don't be afraid to share your ideas, because and at the end it's what you're delivering to yourself, to your associates, to your management group that make you stand out. So this was my experience in retail. I've been working it for about 3 years, full-time student. That's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and oh my god, the trash. The trash is coming. Okay, before it comes any closer to pick up the trash, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. I'm kind of new to YouTube, so I would really appreciate if you guys help me make this channel grow. I will be delivering more content to this channel. Just thank you again for watching.